Being an artist runs in her blood. Isabel Santos, the granddaughter of award-winning cartoonist and illustrator Mauro Malang Santos, is making her own mark in the art world. She's been showcasing her works in art galleries, the latest of which is an ongoing exhibit titled But May We Mourn. I got to speak to Isabel and she told me the inspiration behind this exhibit.
I started doing it in mid COVID, so there was an illusion or hope that it's gonna be done. There's no more. I mean, we weren't expecting more strains and stuff, and the cases were low, and it was a time during the election. So, even if we had a lot of outdoor activity, cases were remaining low. And I was on a high during the elections. It was my first time being really involved in a candidate. I mean, ever since I was allowed to vote, I was already voting, but then I've never been so involved with any candidate before. And it was my first rally also. So it was all of the feelings of like after COVID and elections that I was trying to express in the exhibit.
So with that in mind, okay, it seems to be a lot of things happening there, a lot of emotions. So how did you transfer that into your art?
I think because I work in different layers, because I like doing images and then covering up until it feels right for me. I think different layers can be the different stages of my feelings at that time. And when I was doing it, it was before voting. So I call it my awakening because before, as I said, I was really a passive voter. Now it was something, there was certain feelings that awakened during that time. And then the shift of feelings afterwards. So that was the journey of all of my works.
I think a lot of people can probably, they can understand and they could feel whatever you are feeling. How many works do you have now in the gallery, and are they all with that sentiment in mind?
Yeah. I think I have a total of 6 works. One really big, I think 6 by 5 feet, and then another one is just 12 by 9 inches. So it's like different sizes. And yeah, it's all with that sentiment and all mixed in. But I'm not really a fan of art that's really, this is what you should feel, yung kind of literal. So I always want the audience to like look at it first and then feel it, and then if you want to see my notes, then you can add more, but whatever you feel about it, I mean, that's, I think, legit.
Yeah, because we all have different views, how we view something, but it's really dependent on the person and where they're actually coming from. You mentioned something that this was actually a long process. You mentioned something about COVID, which, was with us 2 years and still actually with us, and of the elections also matagal din yon. So how long? I mean, when did you start your first painting for this exhibit, and how long do you normally spend creating your works?
Sometimes the like 3 pieces were within, let's say, months, but the other ones I've started, and then like the start of the pandemic, and then I went back to it because sometimes it doesn't feel right, the works, and then you are attached too much to it, and then you have to come back to it, and then you figure out how to make it, I guess, better for you. Yeah.
Just for the benefit of our televiewers, you came from a family actually of renowned artists. Your grandfather is the late Mauro Malang Santos, and of course, he's an award-winning cartoonist, illustrator, painter, and we're gonna go through your whole history here, Isabel. And of course, your parents, you have Soler and Mon, are also wonderful artists, owner of art galleries as well. How does one say napakaswerte naman niya kasi ganun ang pamilya niya, di ba? For you, where would you find yourself in the pros and cons of having such established and talented DNA?
Yeah. That's why my college degree was in fine arts, because I was at that time, I think where you're identifying yourself as a kid, you try to stray or not do what people expect you to do. So that's why I chose something not in arts. But then, I mean, that's what I really wanted. So in the end, I went back to arts. I mean, and then now, I mean, I find them, not to brag, but I find their works really good. So it's not really a problem for me that I don't see any like pressure or angst about having I don't know, famous or family in the arts.
What would you say would be like the best advice that you have received from whether your parents or your lolo way back when? Well, what's the one thing that you would always remember what they told you, especially during maybe challenging times?
I think it's my lolo and father is more of like keep going, and like if you don't have an idea, that's the most frustrating part of doing the work. So what they do is just stay in the studio and then clean. Like if you don't have an idea, just stay in in your creative space. If you can't do anything else, just clean the studio, clean your brushes. And I think that's where it's easier when you do have an idea. You can easily like execute it because you're already in your studio.
With that, okay, so we're trying to get into the artist brain. I mean, the creative side. Do you have to be in a happy state, a sad state? What if, like you sabi mo, you're pressured na meron ka ng exhibit coming up in September na, di ba? I mean, how do you get it going if it's not there? Do you have to be in love or heartbroken? I mean, what is it that would make you like, okay, this is how I want to paint today?
It's such a cliche to me because I said it to my friend yesterday. I can't think of anything because I'm happy today. I'm happy. I've been happy for a while, so I can't really think of the direction of my new show. So I'm not saying that artists should be emo or sad, but usually that's where I get my ideas. When I have not really sad but strong emotions, like the elections, there was strong emotions there. But through talking about it, I mean, I figured out my next show. I think there's like rumblings of ideas.
What would you say, Isabel, would be your trademark? Like if I see this work, sabi nga, maybe we might not recognize your face, but once we see that painting, we know that's an Isabel Santos painting. So what would that be?
I like comics. I like cutting.
Yes, that one.
I think one of my, I don't know, styles, but sometimes there are times that I'm parang, I don't know, I don't want to say over it, but there are moments that I want to go back to the more natural ones or more still life or more, yeah, natural, meaning the landscapes and those things. I like the 40s, 50s era. So maybe it's still going towards that.
Are you planning to teach? You think this is where you want to be? Do you see your art also evolving as you go on in life?
Since I didn't go to art school, I really want to look into other materials. I want to experiment on more 3D stuff or more digital stuff.
With that, Isabel, I part with you. I wish you the very best and congratulations on your exhibits and of course the future ones that you will have. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much.